So thank you for coming here. I appreciate
Fuck off.
I appreciate it.
I don't want to fucking be here. It's freezing outside, dude.
Well, it's freezing outside, but it's nice and warm here. I mean, we got free heat.
You dragged me out here.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
You dropped some bottles on me.
Yeah, I did. It's fucking.
Just military stuff, VA stuff, anything else. You know what I mean? Like, we've talked a lot about so many goddamn things. You know what I mean? And I wanted to know, because we both are. We're doing awesome. Like, way away from where we were like 6-7 years ago.
Homeless.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Both of us are homeless.
Yeah.
But a little bit of background story, stuff like that. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the sticks in Massachusetts in a town called Rehoboth. So it's a farming community. We had one stoplight, but 45 square miles of town.
There's still only one stoplight?
Fucking one stoplight, Doug.
I think I've been to Rehoboth like once.
Yeah, no, it's there's only two roads. It's like 118 and some other road that cuts through town, east to west, north to south. And it was just you had to fucking try to get in trouble. You had to try. If you got fucking picked up by the cops, you were committing like murder. It was like a capital offense.
How long did you live there for?
So I
growing up, right?
Yeah, high school. So I got to my junior year. I had enough credits to graduate.
Hold on, back up. Mom, dad, brother, sister.
Yeah. So I have two brothers. I have an older brother, Luke. He was in the Navy. He went in 2 years before I did. Luke.
I love that name.
And Casey, my younger brother, but he's like an older brother because he's a little bit more disciplined than I am. I was the middle kid, a little fucked up.
Me too, dog. I was a middle kid. Yeah,
a little bit fucked up, testing boundaries, fucking, not being a good kid. I was pretty fucking wild. But
how was school? Like, did you do good in school?
Oh, I fucking buried school. All A's, honors classes. I was in, but I did. It's a funny story. So
that's why we're here, bro.
So funny story.
We go through those things of how you were made.
Well, yeah. So funny story. I was in honors classes all through high school, freshman, sophomore, junior year. I had enough credits to graduate high school my junior year.
Really?
Yeah.
You were one of those nerds, huh?
Yeah, I was a fucking nerd. I took Latin for 4 years. Like, I was that guy. But my senior year, I was taking AP calculus. And the professor, she was a doctor, so professor, teacher, I got into class and I was like, I'm already ready to graduate. I'm like, I want an extra gym. And she was like, you can't get out of this class. So I went to one of the guys that was pretty cool. He was vice principal, Giannakulis. Fat ass, dude. Like 300 pounds. Like wobbled.
Just the ass? Or?
Like, no, like everything. He had, he was just fucking, he was built like he was just fucking fat.
Horizontally and vertically challenged.
But he was oh God, yeah. His fatness was dragging him down. He was getting shorter like
when
every
he sits
fucking.
Around the house, he sits around the house.
Oh my God, it was fucking crazy. But he was the coolest dude. So I was like, how the fuck do I get out of this class? And he was like, you have to fail the first 3 tests in the class to get out.
No bueno.
And I was like, I know how to do this. She passed out the first test, signed my name, left it blank, passed it in. 0. Did that 2 more times. She lost her fucking shit. She was like, you're better than this, blah, blah, blah. Now, I was already committed to the Navy because I did delayed entry programs, so I was 9 months.
Me too. I did it for like a year and a half.
So they were fucking bullshit because the high school was about graduation rate going to college because it did their numbers, which was funding from the government, right? So you get more funding if you graduate more kids that are going on to college. Now I'm in AP classes. I'm supposed to go to college, right?
Did you have colleges looked out, like picked out and stuff? No.
I never even.
They just knew you.
Never even considered.
You could have qualified.
Yeah, and it's a tough story because my dad was really interested. My dad and I intellectually were on the same plane, right? IQ wise. And he wanted me to go to college. My dad went to college, paid his own way, did his thing, became a cop, but he didn't want me to do that.
You know what? Some of it's all starting to make sense. Keep going.
It's coming down now. So my father and I talked several times, and now I have to pick a rate. I have to decide what job I'm going to have in the Navy. And I had been working at the hospital cleaning up after operations, cleaning up blood, guts, fucking canisters with babies in it. Like,
Dude.
everything, dude. Wild shit. Standing, watching operations, and I was 17 at the time when I was doing that. And he was like, I think, and now my dad reads. And this is when it was encyclopedias. There was barely any internet. It was fucking AOL.
Yeah, dude.
It was AOL.
Dial-up.
Yeah. So it was like beep boop beep boop beep boop.
Get off the
phone. You're fucking up my connection.
Yeah.
So he was like, I think
And it's $1,000 a minute.
Dude, I don't even know what the fuck he was paying, but it was outrageous. Yeah. And the computers were like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But he always had a computer in the house because he wanted us to learn how to type and do all that shit and have access to that. And he's like, I think if this is what you're going to do, Navy corpsman. Like, it's medical. You could be in a hospital. We both talked about it. We talked about being in a hospital and, learning medical stuff. And
did he know, though, at the time, like, that a Navy corpsman is okay.
Neither one of us knew that you could go with the Marines and be frontline.
I didn't know that until I got in the Marine Corps boot camp. I was like, who's that guy?
Yeah, what the fuck is he doing?
What's he doing?
Yeah.
They don't tell you that in boot camp.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, what the fuck are you doing?
So for anyone listening, the Army has their own medics. Other branches have their own medics. The Marine Corps and the Navy are both part of the Navy. So when our medics in the Marine Corps are Navy corpsmen. So, but I don't think he's going to get into, you don't get told what you're going to do when you go in the Marine Corps if you just go to medical school. So. No,
so when you go in the military, you pick a rate, right? And the recruiter says, hey, you got to take this test. It's the ASVAB, right? And it scales you to like what job you would be good for. So I took the ASVAB, and they're like, we want you to be a nuke tech.
Submarines?
Yeah.
No. I'm good.
I'm all set. That's a coffin in the water. I'm good.
I was already claustrophobic then. Yeah, I'm good.
And dude, and it was like the running joke was 72 men go down and 36 couples come up.
With radiation exposure.
Everybody's kissing on each other in the ship.
I never heard that one before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So I picked this job. And yeah. Oh, dude.
I never heard that one before. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah. So we picked the job. My father was a big push.
Yeah.
It was the reason I picked that job. Mm-hmm. Those conversations between a father and son, you can't buy that.
No.
Right. So I picked the job, whatever, fucking senior year goes by, I'm partying. I'm not, class is not a thing. Like I got all A's, but I only have 2 or 3 classes and I got like 3 gyms. I'm fucking around. Summer comes up, I'm working at a summer camp for kids, having a good time, partying.
I do that too.
Yeah, I'm fucking partying, like losing my fucking mind, just going crazy. And then September comes around. My enlistment date was September 11th, 2001. That was the day I was supposed to.
I've done your paperwork. Have I ever mentioned that to you?
No.
No. Wow.
No.
Slipped by me.
So I had my backpack. I woke up in the morning. You're supposed to pack a backpack with like limited shit in it. And then the recruiter's supposed to pick you up, take you to Boston. You swear in.
So did you go September 11th, 2001?
No, planes were down, dude. Everything was shut down.
You went a couple days after?
Get there. So my dad cooks me breakfast, bacon and eggs.
Wow, dude. So this is...
We sit on the couch.
This is still when the TV's just no commercials, just bumping all this stuff. So like, I can only imagine he's like, oh,
So you're already there.
Yeah.
I haven't told it, but you're already there, right? So we watched the first plane on rerun because they didn't catch it live. They weren't able to put it out in the news live. So we caught that. First one went in. We're sitting there watching the TV. Now it's live. Now the fucking shit, they're focused on the fires and, you know, the smoke coming out of the building. The second one hits. Maybe like 10 minutes goes by. We didn't say anything to each other. And my father looked at me and he goes, "Do you still want to go?"
wow.
Now I'm 18 years old and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm fucking
Pissed off, a little piss and vinegar.
Yeah,
I want
fucking
to get those bastards.
terrorists just attacked. Like fucking, I'm going. And the recruiter calls. Hey,
You still coming?
are you still in?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking in. Like, how do we get this done? And he's like, stand by. I'll call you back. Just stand by. I'll get you out. And 3 days later, he calls me up. He goes, we're going now. You ready to go? Yep, I'm fucking ready to go. There was 5 or 6 of us in a van, drive to Boston, swear in, do the whole thing, do the duck walk, the little medical exam.
It hurt. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Knees on the floor.
No. But then the planes aren't flying out of Boston.
See, I was overseas, so I didn't know everything's flying for us. I didn't know. I'm like, what's going on back home? Like, you couldn't even use the payphone because people don't realize, like, back then in 2001, in order to call home, you had to get a calling card.
Yep.
And then there's only 2 phones on base, and there's a line of 15 people, and I don't have patience to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll call my parents after.
Yeah. So we go up in a van to Manchester, New Hampshire, and they fly us out from there to boot camp. They just told, like, people in boot camp didn't know the day of. Mm-hmm. They had just told everybody. So we go through training. And
you know what? They probably thought they were getting messed with.
Yeah, you don't know.
We just got attacked. Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You don't know. Like, you're like, yeah, you're fucking with me. So we go through ship ops, which is you have to, like, run the ship and, like, stop the flood and stop the fire, and it's all fake, but they stand us up in a line. There's like 100 of us outside the ship on the deck. And they're like, who wants to die for their country?
It's a pretty loaded question.
You know where this is going. So everybody's like, every dude, like, we were mixed, male, female, but the females had their own shit. So we're like a little bit separated, but we're all there. All the dudes are like, fucking, I'm gonna fucking, whoo, right? And the fucking instructor goes, you're all fucking retarded. He goes, what good are you dead? Mm-hmm. What good are you dead? And it was like, that was the moment where I was like, ooh, something's happening. Like, I didn't realize, because I didn't know, even at that point, I didn't know that I could go with the Marines.
Conversations and emotions probably changed too. So the way that they're talking to you, like, isn't the regular curriculum that the
No.
Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, so
All that shit changed. All that shit changed. So the funny part was the fucking chief in my ship, they call them ships, the barracks you live in.
Yeah.
So there's like 45 guys, 50 guys in a ship, bunk beds. The chief in my ship, there was Ian 1 Gray. He wasn't a chief yet. Oh, no, he was. Chief Gray. He taught my brother. He was an engineman. He taught my brother's A school, which is the first training you go to because my brother was an engineman. Mm-hmm. Luke, the older one. He taught his fucking A school. So he pulled me in the office and was like,
I've seen this name before.
He's like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, Chief. You know, and I'm at attention, and I'm like, fucking, ah.
Recruit shit bag.
And he literally goes, will you fucking relax? And I was just like, now we're having a normal conversation. And this is like days in. This isn't like weeks in. This is like days into training, and we're 8 weeks in training. And they're like, listen, we know who you are. We know your brother. We have all your transcripts from high school. You're going to run office. You're with us. And I was like, this is bullshit. Like,
While in boot camp?
while in boot camp. So I ran everybody's medical. So they knew I was a corpsman. That's where I was going.
Those lazy bastards made you do their shit.
Made me do everything.
Yeah.
So I kept everybody's records, medical records, files, fucking everything. And then the chief grabbed me at the end of our training. So he's like, hey, listen, we want you to go up to this awards board. And I was like, there was one other kid in the ship that they sent too. And I was like, okay, like, I'll do it, whatever. Yeah. You do whatever the fuck you're told. I'm going to do it. And you go to this awards board, you walk in, reporting for duty, sir. There's a panel, a 5-person panel. It's officers and chiefs. And then there's enlisted guys that fucking get in your ear and yell at you. And you got to get all the ranks right. Like, you got to be able to see in the room who's a lieutenant, who's a fucking commander, and we're going through this. And the question that they hit me with was, what was the greatest or the worst day in naval history ever?
Pearl Harbor.
Thank you. So, but I had researched Pearl Harbor in high school. So
you had a different answer, didn't you?
Oh.
I bet that went over like a fart in a spacesuit, dude.
Oh. So I go, the worst tragedy in naval history was Pearl Harbor. Right? I give him the date. I don't even remember it now. Like, my brain doesn't fucking work like that anymore. But I give him the date and I go,
7th.
But it was one of the most beneficial things to the United States to happen, losing all those ships, losing all those people, because they destroyed the Navy on the West Coast. It developed the industrial system to make new ships.
Did you say that in the board?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What'd they say?
They're just like, fucking, who the fuck is this guy?
Never heard that before.
Who the fuck is this guy, right? Yeah. So there was probably 30 candidates for the awards board. There's only like 6 awards. 7. Because when we were at graduation, all the guys that got, they don't tell you what award you won. Mm-hmm. They just tell you,
you
hey.
Still don't even know why you're there.
No, they're like, oh, you won an award, but we're not telling you. Now your parents are coming out.
What did I get? You're the first one off the plank.
Yeah, my fucking girlfriend came out from high school, drove all the way to fucking Chicago, however long that fucking drive is, 8, 9, 10 hours, whatever.
Michigan, right?
Huh?
Michigan?
Great Lakes, Illinois.
Great Lakes, Illinois.
Great Lakes, Illinois. So I'm standing there at graduation. We've got fucking 1,000 graduates from boot camp, and there's 7 of us. It's 3 stacked in an echelon, and then I'm in front. Still don't know what the fuck I'm getting.
Honor grad.
MEA, Military Excellence Award.
Yeah.
Number 1 grad from all the ships.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's there. My mom's there. My younger brother, Luke, was overseas in Bahrain, so he couldn't come back. My girlfriend's there. I'm shaking. I'm at attention, parade rest, attention, parade rest, fucking shaking. And they present this award in that big hangar, in the big training hangar. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because all these guys peeled off. When they gave the other guys awards, they had to peel off. Now, Secretary Rumsfeld attended our graduation, so he was in the audience.
Nice.
The fucking Secret Service was there. It was fucking wild. It was wild. So then they tell me, hey, you need to come in a private room. But they invite my whole family. So everybody comes into this private room. It's all admirals and the Secretary of Defense and the captain of the base.
Nice.
Captain Gant. Big fucking black dude. Fucking tall. Not like heavy, but like, dude, the tallest fucking guy I've ever been around. Mm-hmm. And they present me with a watch.
Still got it?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, still got it. I wear it every now and then. It doesn't work. You gotta send me a picture of it.
Purposely tag it to the episode.
Yeah, I purposely didn't replace the battery. when it went out. And it looks like a Rolex, but it's the cheapest fucking thing on the planet. It came from the NEX. It came from the NEX, which is like the base store.
Yeah,
it's like $50.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know that. I thought it was a fucking Rolex. I was like, oh, I'm special.
Yeah.
But all these admirals are handing me their business cards. They're like, you need to call me. You want a job? We got a job for you. Where do you want to go? So I did. So during basic training, I took the SEAL test. I passed, but they told me, one of the chief SEALs told me, you need to go to the fleet. If you really want it that bad, come back.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want it that bad.
Which actually is good advice.
Yeah, no, it was 100% on point. So I left there and went to A school, which is Corpsman A school. They call it Corpsman A school. That's the first, but they were running a different program outside of the actual training. So there was a standard training that took 16 weeks. And then they had this
Corpsman school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they had this thing called accelerated pace program because they wanted to pump out highly intelligent.
We just got attacked yesterday.
Yeah, they wanted to pump out highly intelligent, motivated guys. And the guy I hooked into was Ted Biddle. He was with me on the ship in basic training. He was in New York during 9/11. He was an EMT. He joined that day. Like, literally.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do that.
Yeah. But he was 42 years old.
Ooh, I thought you had over 35. I thought you.
No.
Oh, right then. They probably wiped all that.
They
right
wiped all that shit out.
Yep.
Right? He couldn't do any special forces, but he could do basic. He could do basic military. So he might have been 35. No, he might have been 35. It's hard to remember because I was young.
I could just see them.
He was old.
Waving the cutoff.
He was fucking old.
Yeah.
To us, he was bald, but he was a Taekwondo champion in New York, nationally ranked. Mm-hmm. Him and I worked out in A school in the accelerated pace program. We were going to finish the 16-week program in 6 weeks. So they cut it to 6 weeks. You read every night. You tested twice a day, and you did your practical skills twice a day. And you tested and practical and tested and practical. You didn't have any time. But we had time to work out in the morning if we woke up early enough. So we'd run, we'd swim in the pool, we did our, pull-ups, push-ups, fucking crunches. Because we were both going to be, at that point, we had both decided that it was like, dude, we're going to be somewhere.
I'm going to do something.
Yeah. We're going to do something. And Ted Biddle, holy shit.
The names you remember.
Dude, fucking. So I'm trying to get this linear so it makes sense. But so Ted Biddle and I did a accelerated pace program, graduated in 6 weeks, and then they shipped us. They're like, oh, you have orders.
Both of us at the same time or one at one time?
Both of us together.
Yeah.
You're going to field medical service school.
You're like, what's that?
The fuck?
What's that word, field?
The fuck?
Yeah.
The fuck is this? Southern California, Del Mar. Southernmost point of Camp Pendleton. Just north of San Diego. We get there. And now the Marines have us.
They didn't tell you guys what you were going to do? Oh, man.
Nothing.
Dude, walking in
didn't tell us shit.
Marine Corps unit, that must have...
Didn't tell us shit. So the Marines have us. And this guy, HM1 Banks, black dude, fucking intense. He was a Navy corpsman, but he was what's called Marine Corps regs. He was so tight with the Marines. He was so dialed in that they let him wear their uniform.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you saw that, you were like, I want to do that. Yeah, Marine Corps uniforms are tight, bro.
So we start figuring this out in the first couple of days, like, holy fuck. We're going with the Marines. Like, we're in it. We're fucking in it. And I crushed that fucking school. My PT was off the charts.
Was it with Marines?
Yeah. No, not training with Marines enlisted.
Okay.
But the Marines, like the sergeants and the staff sergeants, were running us with a chief corpsman and a first class corpsman.
So
it
you
was
tailor off from time to time and go do the Navy shit and then...
Yes.
Okay.
So we do Navy testing for combat medicine.
But you're in a Marine Corps unit.
But you have to...
Like, come here.
Yeah. It was all Marine Corps. Like, don't walk on the fucking grass. Who the fuck are you? Unfuck yourself. Like, it was...
Yeah, you can't walk on the grass.
Dude, everything was controlled. Everything was controlled. And I fucking...
Once you pass that school, can you wear the uniform?
No.
Okay.
You have to test out. So you have to spend 6 months with a Marine Corps unit, front line, and you have to test out. You have to know all their weapon systems. You have to know all their capabilities. Okay? One second.
To her defense, she heard a door open.
Yeah, she did. She doesn't like that shit. I know. Stay.
Leave it. We got our service dogs with us.
So I crushed that school.
So you got
They
to test out before you go in.
Yeah, so they tried to recruit me for Force Recon because I would PT with the class every day. You had to leave it. I PT with the class every day, and then I would PT myself at night. And the chief corpsman, the E7, caught me one night doing my own like decline push-ups and fucking running and doing sprints. And he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I was like, "Chief." Yeah, fucking straight into the fucking thing. Chief. And he was like, "I got something for you." He's like, "We're gonna do Force Recon." And I didn't do it. I didn't end up going because I was like, I have no idea what the fuck that is. Like, I didn't know at the time, like the tier system with the special ops communities and stuff like that. Like, I had no idea.
No one does. They don't really tell you anything.
No. So there was no indication of what that would be. So I was like, no, I just want to. And I was a little bit scared. You know, like you tell me you want to send me somewhere, and now I've already been sent 2 places that I didn't know where the fuck I was going, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, but they saw that you were motivated and you were getting good grades, good scores, and stuff.
Well, I wanted to please people, right?
It's inevitable.
So, yeah, I wanted.
You're also unmotivated as shit. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was 110% all the time. Didn't matter what it was. If it was a test or a practical or a hike or a ruck march or whatever, a PT session, I was trying to beat every motherfucker on the planet. Like, that was my goal. I'm outperforming everybody. So, and that's the way my dad raised me. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to do something,
compete.
Fucking do it.
Yeah.
Win. And so I finished that training. Camp Pendleton's a big fucking area because they have all kinds of weapon systems that they test there. They test helicopters. They fire artillery across the fucking base. So they shipped me to this place.
Leave it unexploded. Yeah. That's all another conversation.
Yeah. So they shipped me to what's called SMART Clinic, Sports Medicine and Reconditioning Therapy.
Okay.
It's an SOI, School of Infantry.
Ooh, yeah.
Because they break a lot of people. The Marines break a lot of kids, you know.
Mentally, physically.
Everything. They just break them down.
Oh, that sucks. You know?
Yep.
Next.
Go to the clinic. Like, if you're fucked, then you're out. If you can heal, you can what they call it? ASMO or some shit like that, where you could go back in training. So you could get healed, recover for a couple weeks, and then go back in training and start over.
Yeah, they recycle you.
Yeah, dude. ASMO. That's what they call it. I don't know what the fuck that stands for.
Neither do I.
Whatever.
I was in a sick call commando.
So I showed up to fucking Smart Clinic. And full disclosure, my son's in the room. So I'm going to tell this story, but he's going to keep his mouth shut. So I show up to Smart Clinic, and it's an HM2, which is a E5. The enlisted ranks go up to E9, from E1 to E9. So it's an E5, and it's an HM. It's not one, two, HM3. This kid, the guy, he was older than me. He was like 5 years older than me. He is 5 years older than me. Named Quentin Clement. Dog. First 2 days there. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. Here's a fucking textbook on orthopedic injuries. This fucking book is this big. And he's like, cover to cover. You have a week.
Yeah, okay.
They were fucking serious. The doctor was like, we expect you to fucking perform in here. We expect you to do exams, evaluations, write up fucking reports, like diagnose people. And I'm like, where the fuck am I? Like, now I'm excited because now it's like school again. Mm-hmm. Now I'm in school. But
you got to pass school.
But it's weird, right? So I'm in this area with all these Marines. So I'm going out on gun ranges, doing coverage, right? Corpsman coverage in case somebody shoots themselves in the fucking leg or whatever, right? Or blows himself up because they can't throw a grenade properly, right? So, and then at the same time, I'm fucking doing all this medical work. And we have all kinds of high-tech shit. We had the best shit. We had electric stim. We had phonophoresis, which is basically sound waves to push steroids into a joint area to do pain control.
Never got any of that shit, bro.
Dude, we had everything. We had fucking everything. Heat pads, ice baths, like fucking everything, right? So I'm learning all this shit. I read the book. I start doing my shit. Quentin and I get along really well. And then he gets shipped out. I don't know where he ended up on a ship, I think, for a year. He had a really bad injury, so he came back, but he was out. I lost him for a year, but I had like 6 months with him. And the boss of the head leader of the Smart Clinic for the enlistment side was HM2 Macon. She was a black girl.
Which HM2, is that an E3 or E2?
E5.
Okay.
E5. So it goes 3, HM3, HM2, HM1,
Oh,
then chief. Yeah, it's switch. So, and she was gorgeous. You know where this is going.
What did you do? Yep.
So I had 6 months there, and then it was the end of 2002, and Iraq started to pop off. They were ready to go.
Yeah.
They're gonna hit Iraq in 2003, and they called me up. They were like, "You're getting mapped. It's called mapped, Marine augmentation, something, something, something." And they sent me to a line unit, Marine Corps Battalion.
Which one?
2-5,
Okay.
2nd Battalion, 5th Marines.
That's how West Coast?
Yeah, West Coast.
Yeah.
And I deployed within like 2 months, 3 months. And so that was February of 2003. I think it was February. Yeah, it was like February 2003. We ended up in the desert. We showed up. They busted us up.
I was gonna say, because I know they started sending people 2002.
Early. Yeah. We were a little bit on the back end, but it was still a buildup before they crossed the LZ, the line of departure. Mm-hmm. So we were in the desert. When I got sent to the Marine unit, they hooked me into the BAS because they realized I had all these skills with orthopedics.
BAS stands for Battalion Aid Station.
Yeah. So they realized I had all these skills that the line corpsmen didn't have. So they were like, dude, we need you to run clinic. We need you to do all our sick call and all our orthopedic call. Like, do all the exams and tell us what we got. Well, I hooked into so when they send a Marine Corps unit over, they normally only have in country, in CONUS, which is the United States, before wartime, they normally only have one battalion surgeon. When they build up to go over, they pick up another one. So they go 2 battalion surgeons.
And they're in charge, right?
They're fucking, dude, they run your entire life. As a corpsman, they run your entire life. So I hooked into this guy, Jaime Betancourt, who was the battalion surgeon, because it was always like trying to like impress like the older male figure or the father figure, right? And he took an interest in me right away. He's like, holy shit, like this kid can do different shit.
Yeah, he's shit hot.
Yeah, like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So I got to know him pretty good at the, so it's called Hide and Slide, HS Battalion. It's not.
It's been a while since I've heard some of these acronyms. Like I remember the Marine Corps side of the ones, but H&S Hide and Slide. Yeah, I've heard that before.
So I wasn't on the line. I wasn't in a line position where the front with the what they call them grunts, right? With the guys that were going to be fighting. I was actually in the BAS doing sick call and doing all that shit.
But you're still seeing every single injury that happens anyway.
I'm fucking hooking up every guy that comes in there. Like I'm shooting them up with everything. If they got a fucking problem, if they need an IV, if they need fucking medication, I'm literally plugging all kinds of holes. Mm-hmm. And then they got used to me plugging holes and they were like, that's the guy. Like if we need something at 2 a.m. in the morning and we're in the barracks, like we need to knock on his door and be like, we need you.
My former, we would ask him for IV bags.
Yeah. We got fucked up last night, Doc. I need a bag.
Yeah.
So I used to fuck these guys up with D5W. Which is dextrose, which is basically sugar. Mm-hmm. It's a little 50 milliliter bag, but then I put the saline bag on top of it, and I run them both at the same time.
Water and sugar. Spike them right up,
dude. It's like Gatorade, but in your veins.
Yeah,
it was fucking awesome, dude. They come right back, whoo, ready to go. And so we deployed to Iraq. We got there, we set up positions, dug in the fucking desert. Set up the BAS, did all that shit. And Jaime Betancourt, the battalion surgeon, we started playing spades together as a team.
That was my game, man. I was like one of the best in my battalion. Got in fights over spades.
Yeah, and I was doing shit you're not supposed to do, which is like indicating cards and like doing all.
Me too. That's how you win at spades.
Tapping on shit.
Come on, bro.
Flicking cards.
Yeah. Marking them.
Yeah. You kicking.
Hence the fights.
Yeah.
Because you just keep winning.
Yeah, it was fucking bad. But so he had already developed this relationship where they call it fraternization, right? Mm-hmm. So he's taking an interest in an enlisted guy and making it personal. And we had this funny thing, like we had this thing where Valentine's Day came up, February 14th. Is that fucking Valentine's Day?
You're asking the wrong guy, dude.
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
My wife and I passed back the same card from Valentine's Day. Gave her like 10 years ago. It's still wrapped because she gave me a card one year and I was like, this is such a waste of money. I'm like, you don't need to, just give me a kiss. And I put it back in the card, and every year we just go like this and it's still closed. Swear to God, it's like 15 years old.
So Valentine's Day came up and they said we could write a note to our girlfriends on cardboard and there's no postage. So you just send it out. So I was writing a note and he came up and he was like, you got a girlfriend back home? And I was like, yeah, I got a girl. It's not my girlfriend. I'm obviously over here. Like, I'm not fucking stupid. Right? But this is the girl. I had a picture of her in my wallet. And he was like, she's fucking somebody back home. It's literally what he said.
Right off the rip.
Right off the rip. Like, right off the rip, trying to separate me from that part of my life. So I sent that out. She was gorgeous back then. She's fucking used up now, but sorry, but it's the fucking truth. She started swinging with her husband at some point back in the day, but whatever. So I send this out and he says his shit. And then one day we have Topo, tap out, pass out. We're all going to fight because now we've been in the desert for like a month. Yeah. Nothing's happened. So
it's just like that scene from Jarhead.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my favorite movies because it actually depicts exactly what happens when you're out in the field for too long, when they're all dry humping each other, and then Jamie Foxx is like, knock it off, and the camera crew's there, and they're like, like, dude, I'm fucking bored, okay? Yeah, I'm dry humping my best friend. Like, keep the camera rolling. Shit's gonna start coming off in a minute. Like, if you think I'm fucking playing, I'm not. You know, your brain goes to another place.
You're going to be seeing dicks in a minute.
Oh, like a helicopter fashion, like 10 of them just circling around.
So
Boredom makes you do crazy things.
yeah, I mean, you're all amped up too. Like there's a bunch of testosterone running around. There's no females now.
Yeah.
Mind you, we trained with females our whole time. And now we're in the dirt and it's just dudes. And this started from the jump, from the rip. It's just dudes. You haven't seen a female in fucking months.
Forever.
Months. You haven't heard a voice. And it's
She
usually,
it's like a unicorn. You're like,
oh my God.
oh my God. She's so beautiful. Bro, she's 250.
She's a fucking 2. And she's like a 6.5 on the Richter scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the tap out pass out comes and they're like, well, who are you going to fight? And this motherfucker, Jaime Betancourt, the battalion surgeon, says, I think you're all bullshit. I don't think you can fight. Well, we had dug a hole. We had dug a giant hole. It was like 10 feet across, 12 feet across in diameter, round, and we had benches in it. We had this bench that was built into it. We put a tarp over it so the sun didn't burn it up. And we would watch movies in there on a laptop. Well, we had taken the tarp off and put everybody in the hole that was going to fight. So
Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch.
So my brain went to like the Matrix, right? I'm like, how do I? And this guy's big. He's like 200 and he's a doctor, so he doesn't have to be in shape.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker is Mexican from Texas.
Which just doesn't make any sense.
Corpus Christi, Texas, and he's like 270 pounds. He's a fat fuck.
That's a big boy.
Yeah. Oh, he was big. So now I'm 100. At that point, I'm probably like 170 pounds, 160 pounds. So I'm supposed to fight the battalion surgeon. And everybody thought this was fucking hilarious because there's no officers fighting enlisted guys. Like, we don't do that.
No.
So we start to fight and we lock up and I shove him and then I run around the wall. I literally take 5 steps around the wall sideways and come up behind him and hook him in a choke. And he fucking taps. And it literally took like 5 seconds.
Should have pulled his rank off his collar. Just like when a biker takes another biker's jacket and start pissing on it in the sand.
Yeah, you didn't earn this.
Yeah, you didn't earn it. I just took your shit.
Stuck your shit. So that's how developed the relationship was, right? And he wasn't mad about that. It actually like excited him.
Yeah, do it again.
Yeah. And you know how, I mean, you know what we're talking about.
Yep.
Right. So we departed, we pushed, right? Then right after that, we pushed into Iraq. We did a feign to the east. But bringing back Ted Biddle was in 3-5, sister company, sister battalion. And we heard they got hit in Nazaria, bad. So he took a suicide bomber. 2 people died with him. He survived. They shipped him back. I didn't know anything about what happened to him, but we heard about it and we got fucking angry. And we were gonna kill shit.
What happened to him?
So his fiance was pregnant when we were pushing.
Yeah.
With his son. When he got blown up, he suffered a severe TBI. His vision was down to like 10%. And so he never got to meet his son. The first time he got to meet his son, he really couldn't see him. Couldn't see his face.
That's horrible.
And he would get angry because of the TBI. His brain was really fucked up.
Yeah, you got irregulated emotions all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place. Dude, it's just totally fucked up. And I thought about reaching out to him and talking to him, and it hurts.
Yeah, it's not the same person. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to reconnect with somebody, and then if there's like
he's not even
gaps or issues in the communication,
he's not even gonna remember me.
Yeah,
He's
not
not even gonna remember me.
That's sad, dude. I mean, there's more. We know quite a few people like that.
Yeah. So 3-5 got hit. We pushed. We fought pretty good on the feign. And we went all the way up to Crete, which is Saddam's like hometown. Then we pulled back after that, after the initial phase. Once once the initial phase of combat was over, we pulled back in what's called security stability operations. Security stability operations put us in Samoa, which is southern Iraq, at a train station. It's an abandoned train station.
Pause right there. I have represented a few people, a few of them in 125, right here in Mass, or New Hampshire, right? I've had a few cases where people were at the train station, and it's some of the gnarliest injuries I've actually come across. It's the worst case of burn pit stuff I've ever come across. I ran into a JAG report one time. JAG report one time. The JAG report's in VBMS. I was like, oh my God. And the kid's telling me the story. I'm like, this is crazy. And he said that he had like a platoon sergeant that was just a total dick. He's like, but this time he was a total dick for the right reason. Because they just saw this black trail of smoke over the train station. And like it stunk. And they went out back, probably like 30 yards from where they're sleeping, living. And in a pile, it was a inter-country investigation because you had multiple soldiers from different countries staying there. I think it was like 3, like Poland or someone else, right? Right?
We had the Polish.
Okay.
We had the Polish. And the Dutch.
In that pile of trash, it wasn't like in burn barrels. It was just a pile. They had batteries, dead bodies,
Yep.
dead dogs.
Yep.
And once that sergeant walked out there, he's, what the fuck is this? Dude, they're just burning dead bodies. So like the Polish and the other forces were just chucking their dead in there.
Yeah.
So the train station I know was a nasty place.
Yeah, so I mean, I was part of the burn operation a couple of times because they had signed you, if you were lower ranking enlisted, you get assigned to burning operations. Whether or not you're burning the shit cans, which is how we shit into cans, 50-gallon drums that were cut off, and JP8 fuel or
which
JP5.
is on the VA approved list of just nasty stuff.
Yeah. So you stir the shit as it burns, and then it burns down and turns into crumbs, and then you dump that. But so we were in Samoa at this train station, but there was a fucking air base like north of us by like an hour. It's called Diwania, and it was a surgical unit too. But they had all kinds of fucking, they called it gidunk.
Yeah.
Like cookies and like snacks and shit. So you could use these paper coins to buy all this shit. So we would run on like missions during the day because you weren't allowed to travel at night in convoy. So I take off one day. Now, mind you, I've been here in the BAS doing security stability for 3 months. We've been in there forever, playing cards, fucking just hanging out, taking our fucking doxycycline so we don't get malaria.
Shit's gross.
It's disgusting. The fucking horse pill. I mean, that pill is the size of your thumb. And I had stopped taking my doxycycline because I had talked to one of the HM1 Horvath, who was an IDC. It's called an independent duty corpsman. He's like, dude, this can fuck you up.
Oh yeah, it destroys your stomach.
It can fuck you up. So I stopped taking it for probably 2 weeks. But we ran a convoy up to Diwania to get fucking snacks for everybody. Because if you're going up, you're coming back.
Oh yeah,
with
loaded
3
up.
trucks. Dude, we take an ambulance, a 997. It's a giant fucking. It looks like a box truck. The whole back had to be filled. If you didn't come back with a 997 full of shit, you were getting fucked up. There was fights happening. So we ran up 3 vehicles, 2 Humvees, a 997. You fly on this it's literally, I don't know how to explain it to some people. It's like, it's a paved road, but it has these fucking drop-offs on the side that lead into the desert. And there's barely enough room to get 2 vehicles going by each other. Mm-hmm. It's not like a regular 2-lane fucking road with 3 feet on either side. Yeah. It doesn't work like that.
You're slapping rear view mirror high fives on the way down.
Yeah, you're doing 85 miles an hour in a Humvee fucking ripping. So we rip up. And I realized when I get to Diwania, I'm on the base because Now I'm the one corpsman because they have to take a corpsman with them. You have to take a corpsman. So it's all Marines and then me. And then I realize I'm sick. So I go to the slit trench, blow out my ass, throw up, blowing out my ass some more, throw up. And I'm like, dude, I'm sick. But I'm a driver. And I'm like, dude, I can't. Now, I don't want to fucking tell one of my Marines.
That's the last thing you want to do is get sick over there, too.
Yo, dude. So I'm fucking sick as shit, but I'm going to drive home. We're going to drive back. So before sundown, we rip. We're passing people in the desert. We're ripping off into the desert and passing people on the right, like fucking, and the 997, you can flip that thing in a heartbeat.
Stop heavy.
Oh my God. But I'm driving a Humvee, so I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
You know, I'm fucking, at that point I was 20.
Out at 45 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, I'm 20 years old. I don't give a fuck. And I'm sick as fuck. And I'm struggling to get back. Like, I'm struggling to stay conscious at one point when we're close to the train station. And we have these little barriers you have to go through. You have to wind through to get up the road. And they have gate guards. You have guards with you have like 10 guards making sure that nobody's coming up. And I swing through the first one, and I swing through the next one, and I pass out. And I throw up on myself, pass out, and go out the driver's side door at like 10 miles an hour. I have no idea. I don't remember that. I remember being sick.
You're probably overheating.
Dude, I remember being sick, but I don't remember that. That was a story told to me after the fact.
Yeah.
The next thing I remember... So in our BAS, in one of the buildings of the train station, we put up a tent inside the building so it was covered from the sandstorms and all that other shit. That's where you would put patients, give them IVs if they were really struggling, but it had a red light. And the next thing I remember, it had a red light in the tent to light the tent at night.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a bright white light so everybody could sleep. The next thing I remember, I woke up and Jaime Betancourt was sexually assaulting me. And I grabbed him by the forearm and I leaned up and I was weak as fuck. I could feel it. I was weak as fuck.
You had malaria at this point.
I had malaria. Yeah. I had 105 fever. 104.
I know, because
something like that.
I saw your records and I remember saying to you, I'm like, bro.
103.5.
You had a fever for like 2 or 3 days? Just straight.
So I grabbed him, I pulled him in, and I looked at him and I said, if you fucking touch me again, I'll kill you. And I passed out again. He had every opportunity to kill me. I had an IV in. If he ran like epinephrine, he could have killed me. Straight heart attack, like on point. And I didn't realize that till much further down the road. But
what nationality was he?
Mexican.
Okay.
Hispanic. Not Mexican, but Hispanic. I don't know if his family's from Mexico or whatever, but he was Hispanic. So I woke up the next day, thank God, and I pulled my own IV out, and I crawled into, we had put our tents, our one-man tents, inside that building as well to sleep in, to stay out of the fucking storms. I crawled into my tent, and I waited till, because I couldn't walk. I literally couldn't fucking walk. I crawled into my tent, and I fucking waited until I could walk. So I could get up and walk. Did
you have anything to fix? Like, I don't know what's prescribed for malaria.
So you run 1,000 milligrams of penicillin.
Okay.
It's a fucking peanut butter shot. That's what they called it. So like when you shoot it into your ass, it feels like peanut butter. So that's what they keep giving you. They just give you, it's a shotgun medicine. It's like the biggest fucking antibiotic they can give you in the dose without shutting your kidneys down.
When are you supposed to get to it? Like having it for 3 days. I mean, that's why I said your fluids must have just been evaporated.
Fucked.
Yeah.
So I crawled into my tent, and then
I think I've seen the peanut butter shot too. It's like
they give it to you in boot camp.
Yeah. Okay.
They give it to you in boot camp. They give you one because they want everybody to be free of any bacteria.
Because everyone gets sick when you go on that squad. Yeah. When you start living together. Yeah. It's filthy. There's cockroach shit everywhere.
So they fuck everybody with a peanut butter shot because it kills everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally kills some of the good bacteria in your gut. Like, it kills fucking everything.
Yeah.
but it keeps everybody healthy for a certain period of time, for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I fucking crawl out of my tent and I stand up and I start walking and I find the other battalion surgeon, Dr. Cronin.
Because like you said earlier, they assigned a second one. Yeah.
They assigned a second one. And he was a good dude. Solid. And I knew that was like my point of contact. And I told him everything that happened. Now, mind you, I found my sidearm, my 9mm Beretta, ambidextrous fucking safety. I made sure I put that on me.
Nice.
And I told him what happened. He said, can you just go in your tent and wait? I'll be right back.
Yeah.
He comes back an hour later and he goes, can you tell that story again? We have a JAG officer with us. So then I had to go out, sit on a curb in front of another building at the train station that was designed for the officers that they took over. I had to tell him everything. And then I went back to my tent in that enclosed area. Well, there was nobody there. It was just me.
They shouldn't have left you alone, unattended.
It was just
for
me.
multiple reasons.
Right.
Not just for your own safety, right? Just
For somebody else's safety.
for someone else's safety. Yeah.
So I was alone, and I came out of the tent because I needed something to eat. And I grabbed an MRE. I started eating, I think, the fucking pound cake because I couldn't stomach anything else. Like, I wasn't going to eat the
Lemon
fucking
pound cake?
Yeah, I wasn't going to eat the chili mac that was in there because that was going to fuck me up.
Yeah.
And in walks Jaime Betancourt. It's just me and him.
Big mistake.
Just me and him. And he circles around like the outside of the area trying to approach me. And he gets within about 10 yards, maybe 10 feet. Not 10 yards. That's 30 feet. No, he was about 10 feet. And I started crying. And I put my hand on my gun, stripped it, pulled it out of the holster, pointed at his face. I said, if you come any closer, I'm going to fucking kill you.
What do you do?
Put his hands up.
Stopped.
Put his hands up. And he said, I just wanted to say sorry.
Too bad, motherfucker.
And then he just started to back out. Did
you see him again after that?
Yeah. One time in my life I saw him again at Diwania. I went up. So they shipped him to Diwania.
I was going to say, so right from then, they were like...
They shipped him.
They got him out.
They shipped him.
Now, is this stuff that you know now? Because I know you found some of this out later.
Yeah, no, this is shit I knew then. Right. I didn't know where they shipped him.
You just knew he was gone.
I knew he was off the base, right? So maybe like a couple weeks later, I went to Diwania to do another snack run.
You don't.
To fucking get up. We're getting some shit.
Getting some gummy bears, bitch.
So I see him walking across an open space.
I probably would have beelined it for him again.
Dude, my brain was so
Brain
fucked.
was in shock. Still.
Fucked.
Shock. You know what I mean? Your brain was still in shock, man.
So we went back, and then the commanders came down from the officers' building, got us all rounded up, all the corpsmen, and said, hey, we're going north with a small unit. Who wants to go? And one of the kids that was part of the unit that was going to go had a shoulder injury. And I was like, I'm going. And we were going to find a guy that had killed 3 service members and hung them from a bridge and burnt their bodies. And that was all over the news.
Oh, goddamn, dude.
Yeah. So that our mission was...
Yeah, I know exactly what that is.
They call it capture kill. That is not what the mission was. There was no capture.
This is the Blackwater guys, right?
Yeah. There's no capture.
No, I mean, those are the guys at Blackwater that got hung, right?
No, it was Army.
Really?
They pulled, 'cause they got stuck in a fucking Humvee, and they fucking snagged them, and they fucking mutilated them. They burnt them. They cut their balls off.
They beat them fucking the skin off them in the street.
Yep. So we went north.
I think that's when ROEs started to change a little bit
We had none.
because people didn't. The ROEs overseas were
Rules of engagement.
yeah. You got to get. Oh, we got to wait till you get shot, right?
We had those ROEs, and then as soon as we got on the trucks, all the staff sergeants, because the staff sergeants run the shit, the gunnies, the staff sergeants, they give the orders. It's not the fucking officer.
No,
It's not the fucking officer.
it's the senior staff NCO.
Yeah,
and a Marine
senior
Corps.
staff NCOs.
Marine Corps unit can tell damn captain,
Yeah, go
first
suck a
lieutenant, go
dick.
fuck off. Yeah,
So they looked at us and they were like, it's go time. Like, everybody's unleashed. If you see something that's fucked up,
shoot it.
shoot it. Shoot it. And just let it be. They'll come pick up the bodies. Fucking locals will come pick up the bodies. Yusufia was the town. We rolled into a potato factory. An old potato factory had 2 big warehouses. So it was like top cover for any mortars that would come in, hip fire mortars, shit like that, RPGs. We took a bunch of RPGs and hip fire mortars. We did our mission. We completed it. Fucking dude took a main gun round from an LAR. Yeah. See ya. And I was 185 pounds when I left for this deployment. When we finally redeployed to the States, there's a picture of me and my brother, Casey, my younger brother. We went to a golf tournament in Massachusetts, here. And I was 135 pounds.
You can't keep weight on in that kind of environment.
And add all the other shit to it. Whatever. I mean, you don't know. But I will tell you, after that happened, after I went through that, I completely forgot that fucker's name.
For how long?
I got out. So that deployment ended October of 2003. I got out in 2008. Went to college at UMass Boston. I took a class. It was called Family Violence. And the professor brought in a guest speaker. It was the son of a serial rapist that raped his 2 daughters, in front of his son for years. And he started to describe his father, the way he looked, the way his eyes were. And all of it came back at once. All of it.
Is that when you started going to the VA?
No.
All right, because you came home and you went right into probably one of the worst professions you could go into after all that.
And that's immediately after that, I changed education routes, and I went into, instead of health sciences, which is what I was in, and that class was given, I went into criminal justice. And I told my father that I wanted to be a cop. Now, you got to mind you, my dad had been a cop for 28 years at that point.
Hold on, let's back up for a second. So when you got home from that deployment, obviously I would assume like dad's proud, everybody's proud,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that you.
Yeah, my brother's proud. My older brother's pissed.
You guys had issues though. Like when did the issue start? Was it the cop stuff?
Yeah.
All right.
So I did another deployment while I was still in. I went to Iraq. I did a medical deployment. Awesome deployment. I was fucking chum chick on an army base for 6 months and hanging out and doing orthopedics. Yeah. That's what I was doing. Scrubbing in on operations, amazing operations, like battlefield operations, all that stuff. But I got out in 2008 because they tried to send me to Afghanistan with the army. And I said, I don't go anywhere without the Marines.
Yeah.
You got me fucked up.
Why did they low on bodies?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they said experienced. You had to have experience. And I was like, so you're going to send me, I've already been, you're going to send me and not the other guy that hasn't been? Go fuck yourself.
No, he can get one under his belt.
Dude, I got dressed up in my dress whites with all my rack. I went back down to the fucking deployment office. I was like, process my paperwork. I'm fucking done. And the kid was like, you're a lifer. He's like, you've been in for fucking 7 years. I was like, who the fuck you talking to?
Yeah. I'm out.
I'm done. And I was married at that point. We came home, set up shop, in Abington. I went to school. I changed over to criminal justice. And my son was born, my first son. Amazing kid. Fucking just, like, light of my life. Like, probably saved my life, and he doesn't even know it, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm all fucked up.
Yeah, my son did too.
Right? And I became a cop. Worst job decision I ever made.
To walk right into.
Yep. But I had a skill set. Right?
You going to therapy at this time or no?
No.
So that's the other thing. So when you came home, what year is it?
I'm already diagnosed with 2008. I'm already diagnosed with PTSD on the way out.
They don't even have half the programs that they even have now. They weren't even started yet.
Dude, I got nothing. Already diagnosed with PTSD.
Yeah.
Already diagnosed with severe PTSD. The whole deal. They didn't know about the sexual assault. They just knew about the combat. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's complex trauma at that point, right? It's combat trauma and it's also sexual assault trauma, but they didn't know about the MST, the military service.
You got multiple triggers going in different places.
Yeah.
You can't even get track of one to pay attention to the other, and they're not grouped together at the time.
No, and I, at this point, I had developed enough. I had told my parents and my in-laws what had happened to me. I told everybody what had happened to me.
And then, hold on, and I want to stop you right here because this is an important part because we've discussed this a lot, right? Because I met Blake when he walked in my office one day. And he didn't realize that we had something in common. You know what I mean? I had that happen to me through a family member, my brother. I even tried to take him to court, throw him in prison because he's a fucking piece of shit. And I know that's when, like, I ran into the same issue. You try to get some of your family members to understand certain things, and they either close up or they fight you on it. And I know at that time, like, I know it bothered you. Like, that, your dad, it was like going back and forth. You know what I mean? Just going back and forth, like, don't know where to put these emotions, and just the energy just keeps going up and up and up. And I know that was fucking hard for you. It was hard as shit for me. Like, you end up having to learn how all this stuff works by yourself, like, while you're trying to recover.
Dude, you got to carry it.
It's so hard.
You got to carry it. You got to carry it. And the problem is that you tell people, and part of you expects a certain response, but you don't get those responses.
You get shock or avoidance. Or
Avoidance is everything, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we're just going to leave this here. We're not going to talk about it.
Yep. Just, okay, moving on. And it's like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
You know?
So
having that family support system when you come home, so if anybody else listens to this, it's vital. Vital to recovery for this shit.
Yeah, and I fucked up. Like, my wife, Melanie, knew I was struggling for a long time. And when I finally told her what had happened, we both didn't know how to deal with it. Right? Mm-hmm. And at this point, I was already bipolar. Right? The PTSD, the severe PTSD had triggered a genetic component in me because I'm predisposed to it and made me bipolar. But nobody knew what it was.
Yeah, because when I met you, you were dancing around medications because you were the petri dish. They were trying to throw at you to see what worked, and things would work for a little while. Then I wouldn't see you for a few months. Then you'd come back to my office like, hey, and I'm like, what is going on? And it wasn't until I think
it was the second year that I was in the program.
I think they gave you like lithium or something like that.
No, so they gave me lithium. So I was depressed and cycling between manic and depressive with the lithium and with the antipsychotic. They changed the antipsychotic, which helped, but they couldn't. It put me into clinical depression for a year. And then they finally gave me Lamictal, which is lamotrigine, and it's an anti-seizure med.
Okay.
But it picks you up without throwing you through the roof. You can't. I can't take an antidepressant like an SSRI.
Yeah.
I can't take that because I'll think I'm Superman. I'll be naked in the street and, what, Nostradamus.
Yep.
Like doing that thing. But so I made a mistake and dealing with my marriage and my wife and not understanding what was happening with me and not being in therapy and not accessing the VA the way I should have, even though they were fucking me at the same time, because now I'm not doing my paperwork the way I should. So then they cut me down from like 80% to 40%. Like this whole fucking shit started happening with the VA. And
Yeah, I know.
literally right after I got in the police department, we started struggling like crazy, my wife and I. And we got divorced when my son Preston was 2. I think he was 2. And I was fucking off the reservation, dude. I was bipolar, cycling between mostly mania, right? Manic episodes. I had some depressive episodes, but they weren't long. They were very short. But I could go out drinking at that point all night till fucking 1 a.m. I could wake up at 5, go to the gym, then go to work, and then do it all over again. Every fucking day. Every fucking day. Right? And then I was trying to pick my son up. I was trying to pick up Preston and do the dad thing. And I think one morning I had my AC running on me in the bed. And my ex-wife at that point, his mother came and knocked on the door with him to pass him off because it was Thursday, it was my day, and I never woke up. I will never forgive myself for that.
Bro, you can't control some of those things when you don't know you're going through that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do if you don't have the tools or the skill set or the guidance or the lane? You know what I mean?
So fast forward a little bit, because I'm a cop and I'm functional, like highly functional because of the mania, but I'm self-medicating with alcohol. Like it's just self-medicating. And I'm maintaining, and I'm fucking getting like awards, like making huge fucking arrests, fighting people that are breaking into houses, like doing all this shit, fucking banging. And then I get a call. I get a fucking radio call. I'm in the cruiser. And they say, hey, there's a guy naked in the street with his dog. Excuse me? Now, half the shit that comes over the radio is bullshit from the dispatch. It's like bullshit. It's not real. So I'm like, yeah, okay. He's probably in his fucking boxers or he's in pajamas or whatever. So I roll up. I'm first on scene. This motherfucker's naked in the street with his little Pomeranian.
Holding it or walking it?
No, it's fucking just running around.
Well, I mean, facts matter.
This kid's just fucking just gone, running around in the middle of like a 4-lane road, 2 lanes on either side in like a fucking business area. And I'm like, the fuck? I get out of I'm yelling at this kid, and he's listening to me. I get him handcuffed. I grab the dog. I hand the dog to like a bystander. I'm like, you need to fucking hold this so it doesn't run in the street. Because now I'm more concerned. Right, we got the dogs here. I'm more concerned about weird dog people when I was growing up. I'm more concerned about the dog because this kid's in handcuffs. Like, he's done. But then we search his truck and we find his military ID. And I was like, fuck. And I'm coming off shift. Like, I'm done within like half an hour. This is the end of my shift. But he gets in the ambulance.
How old was he?
He was 26, 30, something like that.
Young kid.
Almost the same age as me at the time. Almost the same age. Big fucking kid. 6'3", probably 210, but lean. Like lean. Mm-hmm. And Craig Sutherland. Never forget that kid's name. Never. I called a lieutenant, the watch commander, and I said, hey, he has nobody. Can I go to the hospital with him? It's because it's on overtime. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to get authorization. So I'm like, can I go to the hospital with him? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. This kid's complete psychotic break. Eyes gone, 10,000 yard stare, like fucking gone. Nobody can talk to him. The EMTs are trying to talk to him. They can't talk to him. They get him in the hospital room, in the emergency room. They get him in a bed. And nobody can get through to him. And I grab one of the chairs, one of those fucking round rolly chairs. Everybody knows what that is. Like, when you go to the doctors, right? They fucking get in a rolly chair. And I roll up right beside his head. Now, they've got him strapped. 4 fucking corners, arms and legs strapped, because he's fucked. This kid is fucking gone. And I start talking to him real quiet. And I say, hey, man, you're in a safe place. It's okay. You're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And I talk like that for like 2 or 3 minutes. And then he turns his head and his eyes change. And he looks at me, he goes, I can hear you. I lose my shit. Start crying. I go to the bathroom, try to get myself. Now I'm in full fucking uniform. I'm in the middle of fucking South Shore Hospital in Weymouth.
Yeah.
And I'm crying in my uniform. And these nurses are trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of shit going on right now that you don't understand.
But this kid comes back.
Yeah.
Now he's eating food. He's up. He wants to talk to his mom on the phone, get somebody down there. His sister's going to come down. I said, I'll wait till your sister gets here. So I asked him, can you take his hand restraints off so he can eat? So he gets to eat. And the ER doc comes in after he's done eating, takes a pen, snaps it on the fucking tray table 3 times. Kid reaches up, grabs the doctor by the throat, underhooks him, pulls him in. Now, I underhook him, left side, reach around, and grab his right shoulder and start pulling him towards me, like this, right? So I'm pulling him. The doctor gets free, and the doctor's freaking the fuck out. His face he's gone. He looks at me, he goes, what do you need? I go, I need fucking everybody. This kid is firing every muscle in his body at the same time. And his legs are strapped to a fucking huge hospital bed.
Yeah, he got superhuman strength.
He's off the chart. Then he grabs my gun. Now I'm fucked. I'm in a hospital with a fellow veteran, and I'm gonna have to fucking shoot this kid. And something just clicked, and I was like, oh, he's tied to the bed. So I turn my hips real hard, and my gun comes free. It's still in the holster. And I grab the bed rail, and I shove him all the way across the room, and he hits the wall. And I back to the doorway. I put my back to the doorway, because now I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Like, I need help. I need fucking 4 big-ass motherfuckers to come help me. And he scoots down the end of the bed, puts his feet on the fucking ground, starts dragging the whole fucking hospital bed out the door.
You got like some fucking Marvel comic movie shit going on, dude.
So I strip my pepper spray in the hospital. This is cloud spray. This is not like stream spray. This is it's going to put a huge gas cloud. And I'm just like, zoop, fucking rip him right up his face. He eats it like it's fucking Tapatio.
Yeah.
Literally. Just fucking eats it, licks it, wipes his face, and fucking keeps coming.
Yeah.
So I back up even more, because I think the bed can't make it out the door. Now, I forget, those doors are huge. That bed has to make it out the door. It has to make it out the door because they have to move patients. This motherfucker drags the bed halfway out the door, and this kid, security guard, comes out of the right portion of my vision. Now, I was shocked that I could pick him up, because I thought at that point, it was tunnel vision, right? But it wasn't. I picked this kid up coming out of my right side. The biggest motherfucker I've ever seen, like shoulder-wise. Not like, he's not tall, but he's like this, his shoulder. He's just wide. He crushes this kid at like 20 miles an hour. Takes him to the floor. They hit him with Haldol. He's drooling on himself. We put him back in the room. His sister comes, right? We talk. We do the thing, whatever. His mom talks to me on the phone. She's like, I really want to get your number, because I think that he might want to talk to you after this.
You're like, eesh.
I know.
Yeah, that's the fine line that I walk on.
No. And I lasted a year after that.
Yeah.
I went on vacation. I took all my fucking vacation time right after that incident. I wrote my report. I went home. I fell asleep. I called the station. I said, I'm taking 6 days off. I bought a plane ticket to go see my buddy Quentin. Literally like my brother from another mother. Like, The kid that fucking educated me in ortho, I taught him how to golf. Like, we spent a shit ton of time together. I got to come see you. I got to get out of this fucking place. I lasted a year, and then I had my psychotic break. January, it was the end of December, going into January 1st for like 4 days. I was probably in psychosis for, I don't know, 4 days. And then, they took I turned in my gun, thank God. They put me in a house. I was homeless. I didn't have an apartment to stay in. I had been homeless for probably about a week. Like, it wasn't a lot, but I didn't have a place to sleep. I was staying in hotels until my money ran out. And my wife now was actually with me on January 1st or New Year's Eve, right before I went to the hospital. And we had been dating off and on for like 3 years. And I kept telling her, every time I had a manic episode, every time I had a problem, I kept telling her, get away from me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, something's wrong. You got to get away from me.
I don't wanna fuck
She's a
this
fucking angel, dude.
Yeah.
She's an angel. But psychotic episode, I ended up in McLean Hospital I was on lockdown for 14 days in the SHU. They got my medication right. They told me what was going on with me. They said, you're bipolar, you have PTSD, it's complex trauma. Like, you need medicine. I didn't want to take the medicine. It took me 3 days, 4 days to take the medicine. Mm-hmm. And I was still in psychosis. And then, while I was still locked down, on January 20th, which is my wife now, her birthday, she came to visit me in the hospital on her fucking birthday. And I had no idea. I was so fucked up, I didn't even know it was her birthday. And we had already been dating for 3 years, off and on.
Way to go, champ.
Yeah. Fucking good job, buddy. Good job.
Just keep racking up the wins.
Oh, yeah. I'm killing it. And then I went to a day program, and then I got out, and that's when the VA really started. That's when I had called, while I was in, I had called the psychologist that I tried to go to the year prior. I went to 2 visits, and I never went back, but I called her, and she said she'd take me. Dr. Julie Clunk Gillis. She's a fucking superhuman in the brain. Mm-hmm. Superhuman. They set me up with a psychiatrist, Dr. Mona Saman, out of Brockton, VA. And this develops a story to where I met you, right? So I was in this program for about a year or 2, year and a half.
I think about a year plus.
Yeah, a year and a half. I think it might have been a year and a half, and then my doctor finally told me.
Because I saw a few of you come through there, like John came through.
Yeah, John came through. Yeah, so I'm sitting in therapy session, and my doctor's like, I'm not supposed to talk to you about this, but what's your rating? And I was like, 40%. She was like, no, go fix your shit. And the same day I got out of that appointment, she's like, go over to the main campus and figure out, like, go see somebody. I walked into the main door. In the office, in the main lobby area, there's a wall. And it was like an apartment listing, where you peel the fucking, you peel the number off, or you peel it, you call this guy if you want to fucking
I didn't even
apartment.
make those.
Dude, I peeled the number, peeled the fucking number, and I called you as I was walking out, because now I'm thinking, okay, I got to call this guy. I got to try to set up an appointment and see who this is. And you got on the phone. You go, hey, what's up? I'm like, yeah, this is what I got to do. And you're like, where are you? And I was like,
the front door.
I'm at the front door.
Yeah.
And you were like, don't go anywhere. I'll be right there. And you came out and you fucking grabbed me. And that was our first meeting in the office that lasted 2.5 hours, when you turned away like 4 people. And that's how we met.
They were just looking for dumb shit. You know what I mean? People just sitting outside my hallway, like you got to take every case. You got to take every case individual for what it is. You know what I mean? Like you got to separate. Like, this person isn't connected to that person. But like, I had a lot of the same people just looking for money. You know what I mean? And I don't like to do cases when it's just about money. I understand if you're rated something and you're owed something, I'll fix it. That's cool, but I don't know. To me, just the human connection part of the job is something that I really liked a lot more, because what you didn't know is, like, at the time, you walking in there then allowed, telling me your story, then allowed me to I then went to home base, to the critical incident program. I think that's what it's called. The 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And I was like, it was like the first time someone had openly talked to me about something. I was like, dude, then all those doubts, like, in your head that you deal with, like, I can't say this to this person because they'll just judge me for this. I can't say this to my mom. I can't say that to I can't. I was like, that was the first day I was like, fuck all that. I was like, this kid just walked in and did it. You know what I mean? So it was a dual. We helped each other that